All right, well, good afternoon. Thank you both for being here. Laura, I know you're obligated to be here, but thank you still for coming. And my name is Lauren Kosrow. I am the chair of the library here at Triton College. And I would love if we were able to just go around and introduce ourselves. So, Selma, would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
Yes, my name is Salma Mehmetagic, and I am a math faculty here at Triton, currently teaching remotely, but hopeful to be back soon. So I don't know what else I can say. That's it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Robert. I'm an adjunct history instructor at Triton College, and I'm looking forward to getting on campus as well. I'm very tired of this remote side of things, but doing what we need to do right now, so hopefully in the fall.
Absolutely. Good to see you, Robert. And then Dave joined us. Dave, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Oh, hi, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm Dave Coulter. I'm adjunct in the horticulture department.
Thanks, Dave, and thanks for coming. Well, it looks like from our group here that all three of you are currently off campus. And so what I want to talk about today, kind of the title of the workshop is Library Resources for Faculty, but you can see kind of by the subtitle, I've kind of done a little bit of a tweak there and talked about teaching in a remote learning environment. So you know, all of the library resources that I'm discussing today, for the most part, are, you know, remaining consistent. There aren't a lot of huge changes that the library has done, but I am going to be speaking about the different types of resources and kind of how we've allocated our resources and services to really enhance our support for teaching faculty in this remote learning environment and also students in this remote learning environment. So although most of the resources and services that I'm going to highlight today have been present, right? We've either allocated more resources or we have maybe changed our service model in a way that really is meant to enhance and support teaching and learning in kind of this virtual environment. So, you know, as we look towards fall and potentially, you know, having more classes on campus, you know, most of what I talk about today is still going to be relevant. But again, I just wanted to highlight you know, the ways that the library has adapted and has kind of shifted to ensure that students and faculty are getting the support that they need in this kind of current environment. Now, I do want to highlight that as I'm talking today, I have a very short PowerPoint slide because for the most part, I'm going to be sharing my screen and showing you the library's website and kind of, you know, highlighting some things on the library's website and where you can find different types of information. And I am planning on speaking for probably about 30 minutes and kind of wrapping up and then leaving some space for questions. This workshop is scheduled for 45 minutes. So leaving space for questions and clarification on your end, but I also just wanted to share that please interrupt me at any time. It does not faze me at all. If you want to throw stuff in the chat, if you want to raise your hand, honestly, with a group this size, you can just unmute yourself and jump in. It does not bother me or faze me. So please, you know, go ahead and do that if you, as we move through some of the content today, if you have questions or comments or concerns. So with that, just wanted to share with you, you know, my goal for today is kind of to answer the question, like, how can the library help? How can the library help support our students learning in this environment? And how can we, as the library and library staff, help you in your teaching, you know, this semester and in semesters as we move forward? So I hope by the end of my time with you today that we can find some answers to this question, right? Like, how can the library help support you, help support students, help support teaching and learning here on campus? Because ultimately that is our goal, that is our mission, is to support the teaching and learning experience here at Triton. So I'm going to have just a few areas of focus that I want to talk about. I could, you know, talk for hours, right, about the library and resources and services, but I'm going to focus on kind of 3 areas today. So I'm going to highlight our technology that we have available for students. I'm going to highlight our support for research, both yours and your students. And then I'm also going to talk a little bit about our course materials, and again, how we provide access to both students, your course materials for students, but also how we as librarians can support you in finding, robust, high quality, and in many cases, a lower cost to students course materials for your classes. So that's, again, kind of what I'm going to highlight and focus on today, but if there are any other areas of interest or anything else that you want to learn more about, please just, again, jump in, ask questions. I am happy to take this in any other directions if needed today. So with that, I'm actually going to go ahead and stop sharing my PowerPoint slide, and I'm going to take us over to the library's website. So if you have not seen the library's website before, the URL is library.triton.edu. So pretty, easy URL, library.triton.edu. Is the quickest and easiest way to get to the library's homepage here. So again, I'm going to kind of highlight a few things. This is going to be kind of my landing page. I'm going to highlight a few things on the library's website as I'm talking through different parts of our resources and our services today. So with that first area of focus, I'm going to talk a little bit about the technology that we offer here in the library for students. You'll see as kind of the scrolling banners are going by, you'll see one that highlights, need a laptop or mobile hotspot for the spring, right? Come to the library and talk to us and we'll help support you. So on the tabs here, there is one tab that we've highlighted for loanable tech. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and just kind of talk through today just some of the things that the library offers to support, again, students in this largely remote learning environment. So in the library, we have greatly increased our loanable technology collection since the fall, the fall semester began in August. So we have increased the number of laptops that we have available to check out to students to 400. So we have 400 laptops, we have 200 Chromebooks, we have 200 mobile Wi-Fi hotspots, we have 70 headsets with microphones for students to check out. And we also have 200 web cameras. So very similar to one that you would mount on your desktop with a USB plug. We have about 200 of those. We also have additional loadable technology you can see listed here. We have things like digital cameras, DVD drives, voice recorders, calculators, graphing calculators, scientific calculators. We also have phone and laptop chargers. So all of this can be checked out to enrolled students and they can have them for the semester. So again, if a student in your class currently this semester or at another point in time needs a laptop, right, this point of the semester, I feel like it's inevitable someone spills their coffee on their laptop or it blows up or something. So if they have trouble with their technology, send them to the library, right? We have a pretty robust collection of loanable tech. Same thing with Wi-Fi. If students you see them bouncing in and out of your Collaborate room, they have other learners or other people doing work right at home on multiple devices on the Wi-Fi, let them know that the library has Wi-Fi hotspots that they can check out and they can take home for the semester. So they can have it until May after finals are done, and then they'll just be able to return it at that point in time. So I just wanted to highlight, because technology has become so critical and access to technology has become so critical for students to be successful in these online courses, these ERL courses, we want to make sure that they have access to that. And so as the library, we are the place on campus where students can access that technology. So I just wanted to pause there for just a moment. And are there any questions about our loanable tech collection or what we have available for students?
I have a question for you. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of related
Go
to
ahead,
maybe
Robert.
what you can use as an instructor, but is there ways to use video materials as well for instructors that, I don't have a DVD on my laptop anymore. I mean, most of them don't have that stuff. So I can't play video clips, and if it's not on YouTube, I can't access that? Does the library have anything, like I'm thinking like Ken Burns and stuff like that, that's PBS
Yeah, great.
material?
Yeah.
You
If
know,
you
I
hold
know
on
you're
to that
talking,
question for just
okay,
a
so,
moment, we
yeah.
will get, no, this is a great question, but we're going to get to it under streaming media. So when we talk about some of our course materials, we'll talk about our streaming media platforms and the ability to license videos for streaming media. So Robert, you are on the right track. Give me like 8 minutes. So just one other thing that I wanted to highlight, in addition to the actual technology that students can check out, I just wanted to highlight this does not come directly out of our department, but another service that has been provided and that we help direct students to here in the library is our online help form. So it's actually included here. It's offered through the ETRC, the Educational Technology Resource Center, which is actually just directly below the library here in the A building. But we have a technology FAQ that was built this semester in recognition that students may have technology issues, both with their own technology, right, or with an institutional laptop. So we have an FAQ that we offer there. We also have this online help form that is staffed by staff in the ETRC, and so they will be kind of that first line of tech help for students. And so if they're having an issue with their laptop, right, issue with Blackboard, they can help. And then with more, I guess, intense questions, it can be escalated to the help desk or to IT. And so there is some institutional technology support. You'll see the hours are listed down below. It's designed to also be offered, during the day, right? So 8 to 8 when we are the staff are here on campus, but then also we are offering that support to midnight through Monday through Thursday. We also have some weekend hours available. So if you have a student who's emailing you, at 11 p.m. saying I'm having issues with my laptop or whatever that might be, or I wasn't able to, turn something in because I have issues, know that we do have on-campus support for technology that you can point students to. So again, that's offered through the ETRC here on campus, but as the library, because we loan out the technology, we also point students towards that as well. So just know that there is pretty robust technology support available for students if they have questions or are having issues with their technology. So I'm going to go ahead and move on from kind of that larger area of technology. If there are any questions, again, I'm happy to answer them, but just know that the library is the place for help for students with technology on campus. So now my kind of second area of focus that I want to spend a few minutes on is how librarians and how the library can help with research and reference help. So I'm actually going to go ahead on the library's website, and I'm going to head back to the home page here, and just want to point out again a few of the resources, services that we have available. So over on the left hand side, you'll see our hours, right? We are typically open 8 to 8 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 on Friday. We're closed on the weekends. But when we have those hours listed, we are available both in person, the A building is open, the library is open, librarians are on campus. So we are available both in person and online. So again, that's for you, for your research, for any questions you may have for the library, but also for students. One of the quickest and easiest ways to get in contact with us is our Ask Librarian chat box here. It's when it's being staffed, it's green, it's available, it's being staffed by a librarian, it is not automated. So I would encourage, again, for you, your own personal use, and also for students, that's a really, really quick and easy way to get in contact with us. We're also available via our email address, so refdesk@triton.edu, as well as our extension here on campus. Now, with students, I would also really encourage and highlight for them that they have the ability to schedule a research appointment. So in this kind of center link here under quick links for students, they can schedule a research appointment. If you click on that link, it's just a Google form, ask students for their contact information and a couple dates and times that work around their class or their work schedule, but they can schedule both a one-on-one appointment in person or, again, virtually through Blackboard Collaborate to sit down with a librarian for 20-30 minutes to help them with their assignments. So that could be finding articles for a research paper. That could be, looking for a book on a particular topic. Asking for citation help, whatever that might be. So again, lots of ways to get in contact with us. For students, scheduling a research appointment, reaching out on chat, sending us an email, stopping by the library, asking questions. That's a great time to, encourage your students to talk to a librarian and see a librarian. Now, you can also reach out to us as faculty, right, for your own research, either personal research, or if you are doing research for your class, for course materials, whatever that might be as well. So we are always happy to talk with you about, what type of materials, right? If you're looking for streaming media, if you're looking for course materials, if you're looking for additional ways to support your students, those are all avenues that are available to you as well. And then the other great way, oh yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Sorry to be a pain. But so because I always have my students do that, usually I have a librarian coming into my class because we do some research. So can you tell me once again, I mean, I was listening, but then it kind of dawned on me that I didn't exactly hear what you were saying. How do they make an appointment with the librarian? They just email you on that address?
Yeah, so under this quick links button here, the quick links section, under for students, there's this schedule a research appointment link. They can always just reach out chat, they can always reach out on email. Those are absolutely ways that we will talk to them and get them an appointment. But this is the Google link form. And so if you click on that, again, it's just a Google form where they can again, put in their contact information, what they're working on, a few dates and times, and we'll reach out to them and schedule an appointment with them. So great point also, that one of the other ways that we support students in their research and in classes, right, when you do research papers, is through library instruction. So in the same section here underneath quick links, there's a link for faculty, and there's a link here for schedule library instruction. So again, if you would like a librarian to visit your classroom, we are doing that virtually. We are doing virtual instruction. So in the past, you may have had your class come to campus, come to the library, right? And we have our classroom here in the library space where we talk about research strategies, talk about different library resources, how to access them, talk about citations. We are doing all of that now virtually. So you can still schedule library instruction. It's very, very similar to the format we've done in the past, but now we are just coming to your Blackboard Collaborate shell and doing it virtually. So again, very similar to this workshop, we'll come in, share screens, talk about the same content that we would previously, but you can still schedule library instruction. It will just be in a virtual format due to our social distancing guidelines and the fact that, most classes who are requesting instruction right now are being held virtually. So just know that those services are being offered consistently this semester and in the future, and we'll likely continue to offer both options even when more classes are back on campus. We will continue to offer both virtual and in-person instruction. So the last thing that I just wanted to highlight here in talking about, again, either your own research or your research to support for your students is on the library's About tab. It's the last tab that's available at the top of the screen here. You'll see our faculty librarians. And between the three of us, we have all of the departments on campus kind of broken up, and we are the liaison to certain departments. So we are responsible for sending content to the department chair, kind of providing updates, selecting and collecting for those areas. And so know that you can reach out to us. I can get you introduced, whether it's my area or one of the other faculty librarians, introduced to that librarian who, again, is kind of assigned to your department to help support the content, support the collection, electronic resources in that area. And so that's a librarian who can really work with you one-on-one, depending on which department you're in. So always feel free to reach out, but know that you kind of have a librarian assigned to you, right, who is yours based on department area, but also any of us at any point in time are happy to answer your questions and help out. So just wanted to highlight that as well. So that's kind of the content I wanted to cover in terms of research. And so I'll spend the last kind of 10 minutes or so of my presentation talking about ways the library can support your course and your course materials. And then we'll leave some time for questions and some conversation. So the first one that I would like to highlight here is, of course, when you think of the library, right, you think of books. So just wanted to talk through a few of those things. On the library's, again, the tab here on the library website, if I click on Find Books, you'll see several links here. Now, on the left-hand side, you'll see the link for our catalog, so the Triton College catalog, but then you and all of your students also have access to iShare. And so iShare is our system that is across the state. We're part of a consortium that shares library books. So iShare, both, again, you and your students can borrow books from other institutions. There's about 90 institutions that are currently in iShare. So you would be able to request books from across the state. Same thing with your students. If we don't have access to something here at Triton, you can request it from another library across the state. So know that those are options that are available, again, both for you and your personal research or for your course materials, and also for your students when they're doing research for your course. Also, the library has a pretty substantial collection of course reserves, which are textbooks on reserve. So our goal is to have a majority of the textbooks that are assigned on campus here in the library. Now, they are physical textbooks due to a lot of licensing issues with textbook publishers. So we don't have a large collection as ebooks, but we do have a pretty robust collection of the textbooks that are assigned on campus through our physical course reserve. So also know that as an instructor, you can search to see if we have the title of your textbook here, and if not, you can request that we purchase it so it's here in the library for your students. Dave.
Yeah, hi, Lauren. Maybe you're going to get to this, but I was curious, does Triton Library have access to academic articles?
Absolutely. You guys are just keeping me on my toes. Give me 2 minutes and I will get to that. Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Dave. So those are kind of textbooks, physical books, both here at Triton and through iShare. So we can talk quickly about ebooks, and then let's talk about kind of journal recommendations and how you can make them. So just quickly on this page, one thing that we have allocated a significant amount of resources towards that we had not in the past this year is our ebook collection. So prior to the pandemic, we had not put a ton of resources into ebooks. Just quite honestly, the usage statistics didn't support that our students wanted them. Obviously, that all changed last year, and so now we have put a significant more amount of our budget into our ebook collections, which you can see listed here. So one way that this has been particularly helpful for faculty is if there are either assigned books that you use for class that we have as ebooks. They can be linked directly in your Blackboard shell. Students have free access to them. So that has happened for a lot of faculty when they've reached out or we've reached out to them. And we have been able to provide access to chapters of books or books that they use in class and can just be linked directly in your Blackboard shell. So if that's something, again, that you're interested in, we have more trouble when it's like an official textbook. We have more luck with that when it's like kind of more support material, or particularly for like an English class or some classes that have other books that they incorporate rather than a straight textbook. But we're absolutely happy to look to see if we have access to it or if we can license access to it. And again, good to know for your own research as well. If you're interested in reading an ebook right at home to support teaching and learning in your classroom, we have a lot of ebooks available through our collections here. Now, but I will also then jump to our articles, Find Articles tab. Now we've talked about both physical and ebooks. Up at the top of the screen here, you'll see our Find Articles tab. And Dave, I think this is getting to your question here with our e-resources that we license. So everything on the Find Articles page is a database that has that we subscribe to. So these are all of our newspaper, magazine, and academic journal articles. You can see that we have some general databases on the left-hand side. We label these starting points. Then we have some databases by subject here that are a little bit more subject or discipline specific. We also have some reference and some dictionaries, which we've labeled background information, and then we've highlighted a few of our newspaper sources here. So, for example, if you didn't know, as a faculty member here, you have, a free subscription to the New York Times. So we have the New York Times through the library. Any staff, faculty, or student here on campus can head to accessnyt.com. It's going to ask you which institution you're affiliated with. You choose Triton College, and then you create an account with your @triton.edu email address, and then you have full access to the NewYorkTimes.com. I actually have the app downloaded on my phone, and I get, read articles and get all the alerts and everything. So that is one of the titles that we offer through the library. If there is a specific journal, like there is, the academic journal in your discipline, or there is, the publication in your discipline, you can search by full text and see if we have full text access to that specific journal. So you can use this link here, the full text electronic journals, to see if we have access to a particular journal. One that's coming to mind right now is like, the Chronicle of Higher Ed, right? If you want to see if we have access to that, you can search that here. Also know that we are always open to recommendations. So if there, again, is something that is core to your discipline, to research, and that you would like to request that we have access to, we are happy to take recommendations. Of course, we have to, weigh that with our budget and, the requests that come in, but we are happy to take requests, and when possible, we, try to meet faculty requests as much as we can. If we can't get a full license subscription, we have money set aside to pay for articles that you request. So again, even if we can't get the full access for the entire year, if there's particular journal articles that you would like to have access to, we can facilitate that. We'll pay for any fee that's associated with that, and we'll be able to get you the full text of those articles that you need for your discipline. So again, for your personal research or for your course materials, we can help facilitate that process either through a full subscription for a year or article by article based on what is going to be the most helpful for you. So I'm going to cover access really quickly, and then I'll pause for questions. So just know that for you and for your students, this is all accessible from off campus virtually with your My Triton portal username and password. So any of these links that you click above, if you want to search for, again, journal, magazine, newspaper articles, you're going to get this screen here with the Triton College logo, and then it's going to ask you to enter your username and password. So to enter off campus, it's your My Triton portal username and password. Just with your username, don't include the @triton.edu. So it's first and last name, and then your password, and then you'll be able to log in from off campus. So I'll just pause there for just a moment. Dave, did that answer your question about journals? And then does anyone else have any questions about journals before I move on? Excellent, thanks, Dave. All right, Robert, here comes streaming media. So I'm gonna go ahead and on our Find Articles tab, it's slightly, doesn't quite fit, but under databases by subject, we've listed streaming media here. So underneath streaming media, we have several different platforms with streaming media. So we have a couple different subject specific video collections. We have streaming music through Naxos, but our largest for like documentary and films are Canopy and Swank. So through Canopy and Swank, that's for the most part how we license our streaming media in terms of like films and documentaries. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this screen quickly and show you just slightly more detailed information about streaming media. So I'm going to go ahead and share this screen. And this is our streaming media guide. It goes a little bit more in depth of what we currently have available through Swank, and then our other platform is through Canopy. So all of these are directly requested by faculty. We have not opened this up to student requests because every single film here is supporting what an instructor is teaching in their class. So if you are interested in, again, a feature film or a documentary or something for your course, reach out to us and we'll see if it's available through, again, Swank or through Canopy. A lot of these are films that are taught in like a film appreciation class, but we have several documentaries and other films that are taught in other subject areas as well. So if streaming media is something that you would like to incorporate into your class, please reach out to us. We'll search these two platforms. We'll see if the film that you are interested in is available in either of them. And then it can be linked directly from your Blackboard shell. So you can include the link in your Blackboard shell. Students can click on it. You don't have to worry about copyright. We are licensing it legally for courses, and you can link to it directly in your shell. All students will have access to stream it, for free through your Blackboard shell. Robert, any questions on that?
So what I'm hearing is that if I send you a list of things, then you'd get back to me saying, hey, I can get Ken Burns, he's done a ton of,
Yes.
documentaries on history, obviously, and I use a lot of them. So I can give you all of those and other ones that I use in my class. That's awesome.
Yes, so we can kind of send us the list. We can chase down where they might be available, and then we absorb the cost of that for you offering it to your students.
I'll be on that later today. Thanks.
Excellent. Sounds wonderful, of course. And that, I would say, we've also allocated more of our funds. We had it prior to the pandemic, but we've definitely, as faculty this past year have been unable to show the film in class. We've allocated a lot more of our budget towards streaming media, and I'm sure we'll continue to do so just because it's a little bit more convenient, right, to be able to stream it whenever students can. So like I said, that's another thing. I don't anticipate necessarily going backwards on that. So that is streaming media. And then I just wanted to kind of, as we wrap up, I do want to spend a little bit of time kind of chatting and seeing what could be the most helpful for you. But the last thing I wanted to talk a little bit about, and I will pull up, I'll actually head back to my PowerPoint for this. But I wanted to share that especially in the pandemic, actually here, we'll go ahead and share this. That we have seen an uptick in students being, unable to pay for their course materials, right? Whether that might be issues with employment, whether that might be, the pandemic has just kind of exacerbated students' inability to, pay for more, right, for their courses. And so we are really encouraging a faculty, if there is an opportunity to offer lower cost materials, or again, to have like an ebook that the library can purchase that students can access through us without additional cost to them. We are looking for ways to partner with faculty in doing that. So for example, streaming media, if there are ways that we can purchase textbooks for course reserve so students have a place to access that's not necessarily going through the bookstore, we are hoping to partner as much as we can with faculty. So again, things like licensing ebooks, having faculty incorporate, more things like journals and newspapers that can be accessed through the library, taking a look at open educational resources and having librarians support you looking for an open textbook, one that has no additional cost to students. We are seeking in as many ways as we can to partner with faculty to, again, continue to offer high quality course materials, but maybe in more creative or unique ways that the library can take on more of the cost than the students. So to keep that in mind, just as you are looking at your course or looking at materials for summer or for fall, if there are any ways that we as the library can help you partner in that, we are very, very interested in those conversations. So whether it's databases, journals, ebooks, streaming media, any of those ways, please reach out and let us know. So I will kind of end on this note, right, that for students, right, if there are issues with technology, issues with accessing course material, issues with, questions around research and citations, have them reach out to us. And the same goes for you as faculty, right? If you are struggling for students to access your textbook or have your course materials, reach out to us. Let's get something on Course Reserve. Let's get something in the library that can support your students. And then if you are looking for additional ways to incorporate lower cost materials into your course, again, reach out to us. And if there's anything that you need access to as a researcher, right, as a professional, please let us know, and we are happy to help facilitate that. So I'm going to pause there. We have about 10 minutes left together. Is there anything that I didn't touch on that you would like to know a little bit more about? Is there any way that you think the library can help that I didn't talk about today? Go ahead and stop sharing my slides so we can see each other and just talk as colleagues. What are you guys thinking about, and about that original question of like, how can the library help? Do you have any thoughts or ideas that you would like me to know? All right, Dave, excellent. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, does this information this is kind of a refresher for me, I think, Lauren,
Sure.
which I need every now and then, but does this information commonly get out to our students? Because I remember years ago when I was a new instructor and I was on campus, I would make time to go over to the library just to look at the books on plants, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a real interesting area, I mean, just because, but and I'm sure everybody has the same feelings for their own discipline, but do students understand what's available to them? Because I get the feeling sometimes that when I assign reports or something, they're casting about in the wrong direction.
So I think that's our perpetual struggle, is making sure that, right, as students matriculate out and come in, that we are consistently, reaching out to them and consistently trying to inform our students of the assistance that's available. But to be honest, you are probably our best ally and advocate. If you assign a research paper or you assign something and say, hey, my friend Lauren works over the library, go talk to her, right? Like, she'll be able to help you, or, invite us to your class, even if it's not for like a 45-minute presentation, but it's just to pop in, say hi, so they can put a face to the email address and they feel comfortable. We hear over and over again from students that they trust the faculty member, right? So if their teaching faculty member for that class says go to the library, that's when they're most likely to come and ask for help. So I really ask you to help us kind of partner in that. We try to message and email and do as much as we can, but ultimately when they hear it come from you is when they are, I think, most likely to seek out that help and assistance. So great point. Thanks for sharing. Thanks so much, Selma. Thanks for being here. Do you have any questions? Is there anything that I didn't touch on for you, or is this more of a refresher for you as well?
No, I don't. I just wanted to see your explanation how the loanable technology looks like and how the students can reach, because I recently learned that you got new stock of the TI 83 and 84 calculators, which is a big deal, especially now. And I hate to see students struggle when they don't have that. So I just learned this on Tuesday, and
yeah, so that came directly from
today. So I'm going to be talking about that, and they probably see you, because I'm not sure it's a real reason they're not doing this or just complain or say, oh, I don't have that calculator or something like that.
$130 is a lot for a class. You know what I mean? To pay for the class, then pay for the graphing calculator on top. I wouldn't want it personally.
I understand, and that some classes that I teach, I said it would be really great, but you can survive. But for example, statistics class, they really need that calculator.
Yeah.
So
we heard it directly from students. That was a recommendation that said, do you have any? We didn't have any graphing calculators, so we purchased them. We have 8 of the ones that you just mentioned that Beth recommended, and so we'll see how fast they go. And if they go quickly, we'll get more.
Yeah, I think that Beth said they're going to donate 10 more from the department.
Yeah, she did. Yes.
So,
yeah.
This is good thing. So
right now, and yeah, so we'll see. And if they're gone, then we will, in the next fiscal year for fall, we'll purchase more, because again, we want to make sure that students, that's not the barrier to them being successful, right? We want them to be successful.
Yeah, it's the middle of the semester, so I'm not sure all of them will be gone, but I'm positive when the semester starts, when the students starting to look at that, you'll have more students interested in it. So.
And then for your department that you guys can all let students know they have at the beginning of the semester.
Yeah.
Library has some graphing calculators. If you can't buy one, you can go check one out for free.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Then Robert, anything else that I could answer for you? Were you able to get all your questions answered? Awesome. You can send me that list for streaming media.
I'm working on it right now.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time with me this afternoon. It's so good to see colleagues' faces and be able to chat a little bit. My email address is on the website and the directory, everything. So please don't hesitate. If there's anything you think that we can do to support you, don't hesitate to reach out. And I would love to talk with you more about that. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.